The Kariba Dam is on which river? Zambezi. The Kariba Dam is one of the world's largest dams, located on the Zambezi River between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It forms Lake Kariba, a significant reservoir for hydroelectric power generation and a major fishing industry in the region. What does an ologist collect? Birds' eggs. Ology is the branch of zoology that deals with the study of birds' eggs, nests, and breeding behavior. An ologist is a person who studies or collects birds' eggs, though egg collecting is now largely discouraged due to conservation concerns. The Neanderthal Museum is in which country? Germany. The Neanderthal Museum is located in Mettmann, Germany, near the site where the first Neanderthal fossil was discovered in 1856. It is dedicated to the history of humankind, focusing on the Neanderthal species and broader human evolution. In British history, a Cavalier was a supporter of which king? Charles I. During the English Civil War, 1642–1651, a Cavalier was a supporter of King Charles I and the Royalist cause. They were typically aristocratic and Anglican, opposing the parliamentarians, who were often referred to as Roundheads. Leporine relates to which animal? Hare. The adjective leporine is used to describe characteristics relating to or resembling a hare or rabbit. It derives from the Latin word lepus, meaning hare, and is often used in biological classification or descriptive contexts. In Greek mythology, who was Apollo's twin sister? Artemis. In Greek mythology, Artemis is the Olympian goddess of the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, the moon, and chastity. She is the twin sister of Apollo, the god of music, poetry, light, healing, and archery, both born to Zeus and Leto. Assassinated in 1965, who was Malcolm Little, better known as Malcolm X? Malcolm X, born Malcolm Little, was a prominent African-American Muslim minister and human rights activist during the civil rights movement. He was a vocal advocate for black empowerment and the promotion of Islam within the black community before his assassination in 1965. By what name was Dutch dancer Margaretha Zell better known? Mata Hari. Margaretha Geertruida MacLeod, née Zell, better known by her stage name Mata Hari, was a Dutch exotic dancer and courtesan convicted of being a spy for Germany during World War I. She was executed by firing squad in France in 1917, becoming a legendary figure in espionage history. Which famous US lawman had brothers called Morgan and Virgil? Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp was an American lawman and gambler in the American Old West, best known for his role in the gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. He was accompanied by his brothers Morgan and Virgil Earp, who also served as lawmen during that tumultuous period. What was the name of the cruise ship seized by hijackers in the Mediterranean in 1985? Achille Lauro. The Achille Lauro was an Italian cruise ship that was hijacked by 4 members of the Palestine Liberation Front, PLF, in October 1985. The incident, which resulted in the murder of an American Jewish passenger, dramatically highlighted issues of international terrorism and maritime security. What is the capital of Croatia? Zagreb. Zagreb is the capital and largest city of Croatia, an independent nation in Central and Southeast Europe. It serves as the country's primary cultural, scientific, economic, and governmental hub. In 1902, the Treaty of Vareneging brought which war to an end? The Second Boer War. The Treaty of Vareneging, signed on May 31, 1902, in Pretoria, officially concluded the Second Boer War. This treaty established British sovereignty over the South African Republic, Transvaal, and the Orange Free State, which subsequently became British colonies. Which scientist and inventor is associated with the decibel unit of measurement? Alexander Graham Bell. The decibel, dB, is a logarithmic unit used to express the ratio of two values of a physical quantity, such as power or sound intensity. It is named after Alexander Graham Bell, the Scottish-born inventor widely recognized for inventing the first practical telephone. Which city is known as both Auld Reekie and the Athens of the North? Edinburgh. Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, is famously known by several historical nicknames. Auld Reekie refers to its past smoky appearance from coal fires, while Athens of the North highlights its intellectual heritage and neoclassical architecture, establishing it as a major historical and cultural center. Maris piper is a variety of which vegetable? Potato. Maris piper is a popular and extensively cultivated variety of potato, especially in the United Kingdom. It is highly valued for its versatile culinary applications, including making chips, fries, roasting, and mashing, due to its floury texture and excellent flavor. An epithalamium is a song or poem celebrating what occasion? Marriage. An epithalamium is a lyric poem or song specifically composed for a bride on her way to the bridal chamber, or for a newly married couple. Originating in ancient Greece, these compositions typically celebrate the wedding and bestow blessings upon the marital union. Which is the lightest element? Hydrogen. Hydrogen is the lightest and most abundant chemical element, with the atomic number 1. It consists of a single proton and electron, playing a fundamental role in stellar fusion and the composition of water. In 1865, what significant event happened at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C.? Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th U.S. President, was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater on April 14, 1865, just days after the end of the Civil War. This tragic event deeply impacted the nation during the Reconstruction era. Who painted The Blue Boy in 1779? Thomas Gainsborough. The Blue Boy is a renowned oil painting by English artist Thomas Gainsborough, completed around 1770. This iconic portrait showcases Gainsborough's mastery of landscape and portraiture, with the subject traditionally believed to be Jonathan Buttall. Who wrote the poem Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard? Thomas Gray. Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard is a seminal poem by English poet Thomas Gray, first published in 1751. It is a contemplative work reflecting on death, remembrance, and the lives of common people, making it a cornerstone of 18th-century English literature. Little Big Horn, the scene of Custer's last stand, is in which U.S. state? Montana. The Battle of the Little Big Horn, also known as Custer's Last Stand, occurred on June 25–26, 1876, in Montana Territory. It was a decisive victory for a combined force of Lakota, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors over the U.S. Army's 7th Cavalry Regiment. Who was Britain's first Labour Prime Minister? Ramsay MacDonald. Ramsay MacDonald served as Britain's first Labour Prime Minister, taking office in 1924 and again from 1929 to 1931. His premiership marked a significant shift in British politics, establishing the Labour Party as a major political force. Abraham Maslow's original hierarchy of needs theory comprises how many stages? 5. Abraham Maslow's original hierarchy of needs theory, proposed in 1943, outlines 5 stages of human needs: physiological, safety, love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. This psychological theory suggests that lower-level needs must be satisfied before individuals can pursue higher-level needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory is commonly represented as a pyramid. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is famously depicted as a pyramid, with the most fundamental needs forming the base and the highest level needs at the apex. This visual representation effectively illustrates the progressive nature of human motivation according to the theory. Which one of these is not a main heading, need, within the Maslow hierarchy of needs theory? Money. While money can facilitate the satisfaction of various needs, it is not one of the 5 core categories in Maslow's hierarchy: physiological, safety, love, belonging, esteem, self-actualization. Maslow focused on intrinsic human motivations and psychological states rather than specific external resources. When was Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory developed? 1943 to 1954. Abraham Maslow first introduced his concept of a hierarchy of needs in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, and later elaborated on it in his 1954 book, Motivation and Personality. This theory outlines a 5-tier model of human needs, often depicted as a pyramid, ranging from basic physiological needs to self-actualization. Which of these prominent figures addresses topics fundamentally different from Abraham Maslow's work? Warren Buffett. Abraham Maslow is primarily known for his contributions to humanistic psychology, particularly his hierarchy of needs theory of human motivation. Warren Buffett, on the other hand, is a renowned investor and business magnate, whose work focuses on finance, investment strategies, and corporate management. Abraham Maslow's early research involved the study of the behavior of which animal? Rhesus monkeys. Before developing his famous hierarchy of needs, Abraham Maslow conducted significant early research into the dominance and sexual behavior of primates, specifically rhesus monkeys. This empirical work contributed to his broader understanding of motivation and behavior, which later influenced his humanistic psychological theories. What is the title of Abraham Maslow's seminal book introducing the hierarchy of needs? Motivation and Personality. While Maslow first published his theory in a 1943 paper, his 1954 book, Motivation and Personality, extensively detailed and popularized the hierarchy of needs. This book is considered a cornerstone text in humanistic psychology, providing a comprehensive outline of his theory of human motivation. Which of these items is not typically categorized under Maslow's esteem needs? Marriage. Maslow's esteem needs include self-esteem, confidence, achievement, independence, and respect from others. Marriage, while a significant life event, is primarily associated with love and belonging needs, which involve interpersonal relationships, intimacy, and a sense of connection. Which of these items is not a primary component of Maslow's safety needs? Weaponry. Maslow's safety needs encompass personal security, financial security, health and well-being, and protection from harm, focusing on stable and predictable environments. While weaponry might be used for safety, it is not a fundamental need asterisk in itself within Maslow's framework. Which of these is not considered part of Maslow's biological and physiological category of needs? Money. Maslow's biological and physiological needs are the most fundamental, including air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. Money is a means to acquire many of these, but it is not a direct physiological need itself, unlike the biological requirements for survival. Which of these is not a component of Maslow's belongingness and love needs? Punishment. Maslow's belongingness and love needs involve a sense of connection, intimacy, friendship, family, and acceptance within social groups. Punishment is antithetical to these needs, as it typically involves exclusion or negative consequences, hindering a sense of belonging and affection. What is considered the highest order need, often added or implied, within Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Transcendence. While self-actualization was initially the highest level of Maslow's hierarchy, he later explored the concept of transcendence. This level involves helping others achieve self-actualization, focusing on purposes beyond oneself, spiritual experiences, and a connection to something larger than the individual. The understanding of which of these concepts is generally not significantly assisted by Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. Purchasing. Maslow's hierarchy of needs provides a framework for understanding human motivation, psychological development, and management principles. While needs can influence general purchasing motivations, the theory itself does not directly explain specific purchasing behaviors or market dynamics, which are typically addressed by economic and consumer behavior theories. Put these needs in low to high order according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. Sleep, law, affection, achievement, personal growth. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology comprising a 5-tier model of human needs, often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. From the bottom upwards, these needs are physiological, e.g., sleep, food, safety, e.g., law, security, love and belonging, e.g., affection, friendship, esteem, e.g., achievement, respect, and self-actualization, e.g., personal growth. The theory posits that individuals must satisfy lower-level basic needs before progressing to meet higher-level growth needs. The Latin prefix dino, as in dinosaur, means terrible. The prefix dino originates from the Greek word dinos, meaning terrible, fearful, or awesome. In the term dinosaur, dinos surongs, it translates to terrible lizard, reflecting the imposing size and nature of these prehistoric creatures as perceived by early paleontologists. Approximately how much francium, the rarest metal on the planet, exists on Earth? Less than an ounce. Francium, Fr, is an alkali metal and the second most electropositive element, known for being the rarest naturally occurring element on Earth, with less than an ounce present at any given time. Its extreme rarity is due to its very short half-life. The longest-lived isotope, francium-223, has a half-life of 22 minutes, and high radioactivity, causing it to decay rapidly into other elements. Argan oil, chiefly from Morocco, used in cooking and cosmetics, is extracted from a tree nut. Argan oil is a natural plant oil extracted from the kernels of the argan tree, Iania spinosa, which is endemic to Morocco. Valued for its nutritional, cosmetic, and medicinal properties, it is commonly used in both cooking and cosmetic products. The process of extracting the oil from the hard kernels is traditional and labor-intensive. Paraguay, Bolivia, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Nepal, and Lesotho have no coastlines. Countries like Paraguay, Bolivia, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Nepal, and Lesotho share the characteristic of being landlocked, meaning they have no direct access to an ocean or sea. This geographical feature often presents unique economic and political challenges, particularly regarding international trade and naval defense capabilities. The area of a circle with a radius of 56.5 centimillisecond is approximately how many square meters? 1. To calculate the area of a circle, the formula A equals pi r squared is used. Given a radius of 56.5 centimeters, first convert it to meters, 0.565 meters. Then, the area is approximately A equals 3.14159 asterisk, 0.565 meters, squared approximately equals 3.14159 asterisk 0.319225 square meters approximately equals 1.0028 square meters. Therefore, the area is approximately 1 square meter. The dermis and cutis are parts of the human skin. The dermis and cutis are fundamental components of the human integumentary system, primarily referring to the skin. The dermis is the thickest layer of the skin, located beneath the epidermis, and contains connective tissue, hair follicles, and sweat glands. Cutis is an older anatomical term for the skin itself, often encompassing both the epidermis and dermis. To what aspect of yoga does pranayama generally refer? Breathing. Pranayama is a fundamental practice in yoga, primarily focusing on the regulation and control of breath. It encompasses various breathing techniques aimed at improving physical health, mental clarity, and spiritual well-being, believed to control the flow of prana, or life force within the body. What is the final stable product of the radioactive decay of naturally occurring uranium? Lead. Naturally occurring uranium isotopes, primarily uranium-238, undergo a series of alpha and beta decays over billions of years, forming a decay chain. This chain ultimately concludes with the formation of a stable isotope of lead, specifically lead-206. Since 1950, what nation's national anthem is Jana Gana Mana? India. Jana Gana Mana, composed by Rabindranath Tagore, was officially adopted as the national anthem of India on January 24, 1950. It was first publicly sung in 1911 at the Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress. The 13th-century legend of Lady Godiva, who rode naked through Coventry to alleviate her husband's taxes, is associated with the origin of the term for a voyeur, peeping, who? Tom. The legend of Lady Godiva tells of her plea to her husband, Leofric, Earl of Mercia, to reduce the heavy taxes on the people of Coventry. According to the tale, he agreed only if she would ride naked through the market square. Only, Peeping Tom, a tailor, dared to look, and was struck blind or dead, giving rise to the idiom for a voyeur. Paper thickness is commonly measured as GSM, e.g., 80, 90, etc. What does GSM stand for? Grams per square meter. GSM stands for grams per square meter, a standard unit used to measure the weight and, consequently, the thickness of paper or card. A higher GSM generally indicates thicker and more durable paper, influencing its application and quality. Who was the inventor and first trapeze artist, Paris 1859, who also originated the eponymously named clothing? Jules Liotard. Jules Liotard was a French acrobatic performer and the inventor of the flying trapeze, which he first demonstrated in 1859. The close-fitting, one-piece garment he designed for his act, allowing for freedom of movement, was subsequently named the leotard after him. Shakespeare's romantic comedy written around 1598 is titled, Much Ado About, What? Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing is one of William Shakespeare's most celebrated comedies, believed to have been written between 1598 and 1599. The play explores themes of love, deception, and honor through witty dialogue and a complex plot involving two pairs of lovers. The anglicized Latin court term, in camera, means proceedings are held in what manner? In private. The legal term, in camera, is Latin for, in chambers, signifying that court proceedings are held privately, away from the public and press. This practice is typically employed to protect sensitive information, trade secrets, or the privacy of individuals involved in the case. Pulse fishing, an increasingly common modern alternative to deep-sea beam trawling, utilizes what method? Electric shocks. Pulse fishing is a controversial fishing technique that employs electric pulses to stun fish, causing them to rise from the seabed into nets. While some proponents argue it causes less damage to the seabed than traditional trawling, there are ongoing concerns about its potential impact on marine ecosystems and fish welfare. Which one of these is not a type of joint found in the human body? Dovetail. The human body contains various types of joints, such as hinge, ball and socket, and pivot joints, which enable movement. A dovetail is a specific type of woodworking joint, known for its interlocking design and strength, and is not a biological joint found in human anatomy. The web error code 404 signifies what message? Not found. The HTTP 404 inches, not found, error is a standard response code from a web server indicating that the client was able to communicate with the server, but the requested resource could not be located. This means the specific web page or file the user tried to access does not exist on the server. What is the term for a ship or plane side-to-side turning movement? Yaw. Yaw is one of the three principal axes of rotation, along with pitch and roll, that describe the movement of an aircraft or ship. It refers specifically to the rotational movement around the vertical axis, causing the nose or bow to move left or right, thereby changing the vessel's heading. What metal has the lowest boiling point? Mercury. Mercury is a transition metal, notable for being the only common metal that is liquid at standard temperature and pressure. Its extremely low boiling point of 356.7 degrees Celsius, 674.1 degrees Fahrenheit, makes it unique among metals. The photocopying technology called xerography is named from Greek, xero, meaning dry. Xerography is a dry photocopying technique invented by Chester Carlson in 1938. The term combines the Greek words xeros, dry, and graphos, writing, literally meaning dry writing, which accurately describes the process that uses dry powder, toner, instead of liquid inks. Azuchetto, from Italian zucca, pumpkin, rather like the Jewish kappa, yarmulke, is a cleric's cap. Azuchetto is a small, round skull cap worn by clerics in the Catholic Church, originating from the Italian word zucca for pumpkin. Its color indicates the wearer's rank: white for the Pope, red for cardinals, purple for bishops, and black for priests. A scimitar is a curved sword. A scimitar is a type of curved back sword, originating in the Middle East and South Asia. Its distinctive curved blade was well suited for horseback combat, allowing for powerful slashing attacks. In 1852, American Alicia Graves Otis produced the first successful, eponymously branded, safety elevator. Alicia Graves Otis revolutionized urban development and architecture with the invention of the safety elevator in 1852. His critical innovation was a safety device that prevented the elevator car from falling even if the hoisting ropes failed, making tall buildings practical for habitation and commerce. The 1940s originating term, latchkey child, kid, refers to a child who is often home alone. A latchkey child is a term that emerged in the 1940s, referring to a child who returns from school to an empty home because their parents are still at work or otherwise absent. This term highlights changes in family structures and parental work patterns, often associated with perceived risks and developmental challenges for such children. An oubliette, which has a top opening for access, is a dungeon. An oubliette is a type of secret dungeon, particularly found in medieval castles, accessible only through a hatch or hole in its ceiling. The name originates from the French word, oublier, meaning, to forget, reflecting its purpose to imprison and effectively forget prisoners, who were often left to die there. Ostler is an old occupational name for someone who looks after horses. An ostler was historically responsible for looking after horses, particularly at inns or stables, catering to travelers. This occupation was vital before the advent of motorized transport and highlights the historical importance of equestrian services. The famous bouzouki instrumental dance music which speeds up is called zorbate. Greek. Zorba the Greek refers to the iconic instrumental music from the 1964 film of the same name, composed by Mikis Theodorakis. The music, often played on a bouzouki, is known for its increasing tempo and is synonymous with Greek culture and the sirtaki dance. The unstressed vowel sound, o, usually represented by a or e in ago, and a cat or open, is called a schwa. The schwa is the most common vowel sound in the English language, typically occurring in unstressed syllables. It is a neutral vowel sound, often described as o, and can be represented by various vowel letters in writing. According to the Rainbow, Light Spectrum Mnemonic, Memory Aid, Richard of York gave, what? In vain? Battle. The mnemonic, Richard of York gave battle in vain, is used to remember the order of colors in the visible light spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, ROYGBIV. This helps recall the sequence of wavelengths in a rainbow or prism. Formed 1950 and dissolved 1990, the Stasi was the secret police of East Germany. The Stasi was the official state security service of East Germany, German Democratic Republic, operating from 1950 to 1990. It was infamous for its extensive network of informants and oppressive surveillance tactics, playing a crucial role in maintaining the communist regime. Sepals and tepals are decorative protective elements of many flowers. Sepals are leaf-like structures that enclose the developing flower bud, protecting it. Tepals are a term used when sepals in petals are indistinguishable, often colorful, as seen in some monocots like lilies, forming the perianth. Horizon, Wick Track, Brookfield and John Holland were major railway operators of Australia. These companies are significant entities within Australia's railway and infrastructure sector. Horizon is a major freight rail company. Wick Track manages Victoria Railway land and infrastructure, while Brookfield and John Holland are prominent in construction and infrastructure development, including rail projects. What is a plantar wart or myrmekia, better known as verruca? A plantar wart, also known as myrmekia or verruca plantaris, is a common type of wart found on the soles of the feet. It is caused by the human papillomavirus, HPV, and can be painful due to pressure. Pyongyang is the capital of which nation? North Korea. Pyongyang is the capital and largest city of North Korea, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. It is located on the Taedong River and serves as the country's political, economic, and cultural center. Kathmandu, known for its iconic symbols, is located in which country? Nepal. Kathmandu is the capital and largest city of Nepal. It is renowned for its rich history, ancient temples, and vibrant cultural heritage, featuring iconic sites like the Swayambhunath Stupa. Hemophilia is the human tendency for prolonged bleeding. Hemophilia is a rare genetic bleeding disorder where the blood doesn't clot properly. This can lead to prolonged bleeding after injury or surgery, and spontaneous bleeding into joints and muscles. The term, Teutonic, generally refers historically to people of which characteristic? Germanic. The term, Teutonic, historically refers to the Germanic peoples, particularly those who spoke Germanic languages. It is often associated with the ancient Germanic tribes and aspects of German culture and history. What is the Hang Seng Index? Hong Kong Stock Market Index. The Hang Seng Index, HSI, is a free float adjusted market capitalization weighted stock market index in Hong Kong. It is used to record and monitor the daily changes of the largest companies on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, serving as a key indicator of market performance. How many independent states were formed following the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991? 15. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in December 1991 led to the creation of 15 independent sovereign states. This pivotal historical event marked the end of the Cold War and profoundly reshaped global geopolitics. Where are the seas of tranquility, cleverness, nectar, and moisture located? The Moon. The seas, or maria, of tranquility, cleverness, nectar, and moisture are prominent lunar maria, which are large, dark, basaltic plains on the Moon. These features were formed by ancient volcanic eruptions, and the Sea of Tranquility is famously known as the landing site of Apollo 11. The Pitcairn Islands, which provided refuge for several 1790 mutiny on the Bounty mutineers, are located in which ocean? The Southern Pacific Ocean. The Pitcairn Islands are a remote group of 4 volcanic islands in the Southern Pacific Ocean, constituting a British overseas territory. They are historically significant as the place where the mutineers from HMS Bounty and their Tahitian companions settled in 1790. What is a piscina in a church? A basin. A piscina is a shallow basin typically found in the sanctuary of a church, often near the altar. Its primary purpose is for washing the sacred vessels after Mass and for disposing of water used in sacraments or blessings, with the water draining directly into consecrated ground. Lancelot, capability, Brown, 1716–83, an Englishman, is globally renowned as what type of professional? A landscape garden architect. Lancelot, capability, Brown was an influential English landscape architect of the 18th century, celebrated for his naturalistic parkland designs. He is credited with revolutionizing garden design by creating sweeping landscapes with artificial lakes, gentle undulations, and strategically placed trees, transforming numerous estates across England. Zephyr, Sirocco, Mistral, and Chinook are all names for what meteorological phenomenon? Winds. Zephyr, Sirocco, Mistral, and Chinook are all terms for specific types of winds found in different geographical regions around the world. These winds are characterized by their particular local conditions, such as temperature, direction, and seasonality, and have significant impacts on local weather and climate. The most common material used in lightning protection is copper and its alloys. Copper. Copper is widely used for lightning protection systems due to its excellent electrical conductivity and resistance to corrosion. It efficiently channels the high electrical current from a lightning strike safely to the ground, thereby protecting structures. The Poaceae or Gramineae family of organisms is better known as grasses. The Poaceae, or Gramineae, family is a large and economically crucial group of flowering plants commonly known as grasses. This family includes essential cereals like wheat, rice, maize, and sugarcane, which are vital global food sources. The City of London financial district is traditionally known as the Square Mile. The City of London, often referred to as the Square Mile, is the historic core and financial heart of London, United Kingdom. It hosts the Bank of England, the London Stock Exchange, and numerous international financial institutions. What is located at 0 degrees latitude and 0 degrees longitude? A weather observation buoy. The intersection of the equator, 0 degrees latitude, and the prime meridian, 0 degrees longitude, is situated in the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast of West Africa. While not a fixed point on land, a weather observation buoy, station 13010 or SOL, is often positioned in this area. Under normal Earth sea level conditions, at how many degrees Celsius does water boil? 100. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, at standard atmospheric pressure, which is generally taken at sea level. The boiling point decreases at higher altitudes due to lower atmospheric pressure. The term, histrionics, referring to excessive emotion, derives from the Latin, histrion, meaning actor. The term, histrionics, describes exaggerated dramatic behavior or an excessive display of emotion. Its origin lies in the Latin word, histrion, which referred to an actor or performer, underscoring the theatrical nature of such behavior. A spoken error, considered perhaps more truthful than the intended words, is commonly called a slip. Freudian. A Freudian slip, also known as parapraxis, is an error in speech, memory, or physical action that is believed to reveal an unconscious thought, desire, or belief. Named after Sigmund Freud, it suggests an unintended disclosure of a hidden psychological state. Roughly, what is the volume of a ball 10 inches in diameter, in cubic inches? 524. The volume of a sphere is calculated using the formula V equals 4/3 pi r cubed, where r is the radius. For a ball with a 10-inch diameter, the radius is 5 inches. Calculating this yields approximately 523.6 cubic inches, which rounds to 524 cubic inches. The name of which famous island borough, acquired by Dutch settlers from the Lenape Native Americans in 1626, has a Lenape origin? Manhattan. Manhattan is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City, historically inhabited by the Lenape people. Its name is believed to derive from a Lenape word, possibly, Manna Hatta, meaning, island of many hills, or, place where we gather wood. The island was famously purchased by Dutch settlers from the Lenape in 1626. What is the approximate equatorial diameter of Earth in kilometers? 12,742 kilometers. The Earth is an oblate spheroid, meaning it bulges at the equator and is flattened at the poles. Its equatorial diameter is approximately 12,742 kilometers, slightly larger than its polar diameter. This measurement is fundamental in understanding Earth's size and shape. What are the fundamental building blocks of life, and the smallest units capable of independent replication, deriving their name from the Latin word for small room? Cell. The term cell was coined by Robert Hooke in 1665 when observing cork under a microscope, noting its resemblance to small rooms. Cells are the basic structural, functional, and biological units of all known organisms, capable of self-replication and considered the fundamental units of life. Ptolemy, circa AD 100 to 170, a Roman Egyptian scholar, was famous for his contributions in which fields? Astronomy, geography, and mathematics. Claudius Ptolemy was a highly influential Roman-Egyptian polymath who lived in Alexandria during the 2nd century AD. He made significant contributions as an astronomer, geographer, and mathematician, with his seminal works like the Almagest, on astronomy, and Geographia, on cartography, shaping scientific thought for over a millennium. His work established the geocentric model of the universe. What is the popular informal term used to refer to the central financial district of the City of London? The square mile. The City of London, often referred to as the Square Mile, is the historic core of London and its primary financial district. This term reflects its approximate geographic size of 1 square mile and emphasizes its significance as a global financial hub. It operates with a unique administrative status within Greater London. What did the Gaelic originating surname prefixes, mac, or muck, originally signify? Son. The prefixes mac and muck are common in Irish and Scottish Gaelic surnames. They both derive from the Gaelic word mac, meaning son. This patronymic tradition indicates son of father's name and was used to denote familial lineage, which is a significant aspect of Celtic naming conventions. Martha's Vineyard, an island located south of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, is renowned as a prominent vacation destination. Martha's Vineyard is a famous island located off the coast of Massachusetts, south of Cape Cod. Renowned for its picturesque landscapes, charming towns, and beautiful beaches, it is a popular upscale summer colony and vacation destination. The island has a rich maritime history and distinctive cultural identity. What is the academic term for body language, derived from Greek and meaning motion? Kinesics. Kinesics is the study of body language, including facial expressions, gestures, posture, and other physical movements, as a form of non-verbal communication. The term originates from the Greek word kinesis, meaning motion or movement, highlighting the dynamic nature of these communicative cues. Body language is generally categorized and known by what broader, well-established term in communication studies? Non-verbal communication. Body language is a fundamental component of non-verbal communication, which encompasses all forms of communication that do not involve spoken or written words. This includes facial expressions, gestures, posture, eye contact, and even touch, playing a crucial role in conveying messages, emotions, and intentions. What does paralinguistics, typically defined outside of body language, refer to? Speech intonation, sound. Paralinguistics encompasses the non-verbal elements of communication that accompany speech, such as tone, pitch, volume, rhythm, and intonation. These vocal cues convey meaning and emotion, adding layers of interpretation to spoken words. Within body language, the physical space or closeness between people is significant and is called proxemics. Proxemics is the study of the use of space as a form of non-verbal communication. Developed by anthropologist Edward T. Hall, it examines how individuals perceive and use personal space, which varies significantly across cultures and social contexts. Who wrote The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals in 1872, a work considered foundational to the science of body language? Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin's groundbreaking work, published in 1872, explored the universality of emotional expressions across different species, including humans. It laid early groundwork for understanding the biological and evolutionary basis of non-verbal communication. Historically related to body language, physiognomy interprets human characteristics from a person's face. Physiognomy is an ancient practice and pseudoscience that involves assessing a person's character or personality from their outer appearance, especially the face. Though largely discredited scientifically, it reflects early attempts to link physical traits with psychological attributes. Related to body language, kinesthetics, or kinesthetics, is the study of learning styles. Kinesthetics refers to the study of body movement, especially in the context of learning. A kinesthetic learning style involves learning through physical activity, hands-on experiences, and direct involvement, where understanding is gained by doing. What is the full form of NLP, a communications and psychology concept related to body language? Neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, is a communications and personal development approach developed in the 1970s. It focuses on the connection between neurological processes, language, and behavioral patterns learned through experience, aiming to help individuals understand and modify their thoughts and behaviors. Is body language considered to be solely innate, purely learned, or a combination of both? A mixture of the two, nature and nurture. Body language is widely understood as a complex interplay of both innate biological predispositions, nature, and learned behaviors shaped by cultural, social, and individual experiences, nurture. While some facial expressions are universal, many gestures and postures are culturally specific, highlighting this intricate blend. According to research, which gender generally demonstrates the strongest ability in the perception and interpretation of body language? Women. Research suggests that women generally exhibit stronger abilities in perceiving and interpreting non-verbal cues, including body language, compared to men. This difference is often attributed to a combination of socio-cultural factors emphasizing emotional intelligence in women and potential biological predispositions influencing empathy and social processing. Does body language vary among individuals based on age, physiological condition, and situational context? Yes, definitely. The interpretation of body language is highly contextual and individual, varying significantly with a person's age, physiological state, and the specific situation. Cultural norms, personal history, and temporary conditions all influence how non-verbal cues are expressed and understood, making a universal interpretation challenging. What Latin phrase signifies an operational method or the characteristic way a task is accomplished? Modus operandi. Modus operandi is a Latin phrase that translates to method of operating or mode of operation. It refers to the characteristic manner or consistent pattern of behavior used in performing a task, often employed in legal, criminal, or professional contexts to describe a particular approach. In the human body, which gland secretes the hormone insulin? Pancreas. The pancreas is a vital endocrine gland located behind the stomach. It produces insulin, a hormone essential for regulating blood sugar levels by facilitating glucose uptake into cells. Dysfunction of the pancreas in insulin production leads to diabetes. In 1803, which country sold the territory that included the present-day state of Nebraska to the USA? France. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803 was a monumental land deal in which the United States acquired approximately 828,000 square miles of territory from France. This transaction, orchestrated by President Thomas Jefferson, effectively doubled the size of the nascent United States and included land that would eventually form 15 new states, including Nebraska. Carrageenan is an edible extract derived from which type of marine organism? Seaweed. Carrageenan is a family of linear sulfated polysaccharides extracted from red edible seaweeds. It is widely used in the food industry as a gelling, thickening, and stabilizing agent, commonly found in dairy products, processed meats, and vegetarian alternatives. Which English cathedral houses the clock with no face? Salisbury Cathedral. Salisbury Cathedral in Wiltshire, England, is home to the world's oldest working modern clock, dating from 1386. Known as the clock with no face, it originally had no dial, striking a bell to announce the hour, a common practice for early mechanical clocks. Who was the first woman to perform a spacewalk, Eva? Svetlana Savitskaya. Svetlana Savitskaya, a Soviet cosmonaut, became the first woman to perform an extravehicular activity, EVA, or spacewalk, on July 25, 1984. During her second space mission aboard Soyuz T-12 to the Salyut 7 space station, she spent 3 hours and 35 minutes outside the spacecraft. In which European town is the Menon Gate Memorial, dedicated to missing British and Commonwealth soldiers of World War I, located? Ypres. The Menon Gate Memorial to the Missing is a war memorial in Ypres, Belgium, dedicated to the British and Commonwealth soldiers who were killed in the Ypres salient of World War I and whose graves are unknown. The memorial bears the names of more than 54,000 soldiers. The Lowell Observatory is located in which U.S. state? Arizona. The Lowell Observatory is an astronomical observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, founded in 1894 by Percival Lowell. It is one of the oldest observatories in the United States and is known for several significant discoveries, including the dwarf planet Pluto by Clyde Tombaugh in 1930. Who served as the President of Chile from 1974 to 1990? Augusto Pinochet. Augusto Pinochet Ugarte was a Chilean general who led a military coup in 1973, overthrowing the democratically elected socialist government of Salvador Allende. He then ruled Chile as a dictator from 1973 to 1990, a period marked by significant human rights abuses and economic reforms. Who succeeded Michael Foot as leader of the Labour Party in the UK? Neil Kinnock. Michael Foot, a prominent figure in the British Labour Party, served as leader from 1980 to 1983. Neil Kinnock succeeded him after the party's significant defeat in the 1983 general election, leading the party through the late 1980s. The Laughing Cavalier is a work by which painter? Frans Hals. The Laughing Cavalier is a famous portrait painted in 1624 by the Dutch Golden Age painter Frans Hals. This masterpiece is renowned for its lively brushwork and the sitter's enigmatic expression, making it an iconic example of Baroque art. What type of rock is carbonado? Diamond. Carbonado, also known as black diamond, is an extremely rare natural polycrystalline diamond. Found primarily in alluvial deposits in Brazil and the Central African Republic, it is notable for its opaque, black appearance and unique resistance to breakage, making it distinct from conventional diamonds. Ribes nigrum is the Latin name for which fruit? Blackcurrant. Ribes nigrum is the botanical Latin name for the blackcurrant, a species of flowering plant in the gooseberry family Grossulariaceae. Native to temperate regions of Europe and Asia, it is cultivated for its edible berries, which are particularly rich in vitamin C. In which city is the United Nations headquarters? New York. The United Nations headquarters complex is located in New York City, serving as the principal headquarters for the United Nations. The site, situated on international territory, was chosen in 1946, and the complex was largely completed by 1952. Which famous US architect designed the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo in 1916? Frank Lloyd Wright. Frank Lloyd Wright, a renowned American architect, designed the Second Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, which opened in 1923. The hotel famously withstood the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, a testament to Wright's innovative seismic-resistant design principles. W. Somerset Maugham's novel, The Moon and Sixpence, is based on the life of which painter? Paul Gauguin. W. Somerset Maugham's The Moon and Sixpence is a fictionalized account inspired by the life of French post-impressionist artist Paul Gauguin. The novel explores themes of an artist's pursuit of creative freedom and rebellion against societal norms, mirroring Gauguin's own life and artistic journey. Who became leader of the People's National Party in Jamaica in 1969? Michael Manley. Michael Manley was a prominent Jamaican politician who led the People's National Party, PNP, from 1969. He served multiple terms as Prime Minister of Jamaica, known for his democratic socialist policies and advocacy for the non-aligned movement. Which famous Mormon church leader and educational pioneer died in Salt Lake City in 1877? Brigham Young. Brigham Young was the second president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and a pivotal figure in American westward expansion. He led the Mormon pioneers to Utah, founded Salt Lake City, and was instrumental in establishing numerous settlements and educational institutions in the region. In which body of water are the Balearic Islands? Mediterranean Sea. The Balearic Islands are an archipelago located in the western Mediterranean Sea, off the eastern coast of Spain. They form an autonomous community of Spain and are renowned for their natural beauty, historical sites, and vibrant tourism. Who was hanged in Edinburgh in 1829 for multiple murder in supplying doctors with corpses for dissection? William Burke. William Burke was an Irish serial killer, alongside his accomplice William Hare, who committed the infamous Burke and Hare murders in Edinburgh in 1828. They murdered at least 16 people to sell their bodies for anatomical dissection, highlighting a macabre period in medical history and the urgent demand for cadavers. Mariolatry is the idolatrous worship of whom? The Virgin Mary. Mariolatry refers to the excessive or idolatrous veneration of the Virgin Mary, particularly found in some forms of Christian devotion. While the Virgin Mary is highly revered as the mother of Jesus within many Christian traditions, the term implies a level of worship considered by some to cross into idolatry. Who said in a radio broadcast in 1939, "I cannot forecast to you the action of Russia"? Winston Churchill. This famous quote was uttered by Winston Churchill in a radio broadcast on October 1, 1939, shortly after the outbreak of World War II. It encapsulated the prevailing uncertainty and strategic ambiguity surrounding the Soviet Union's intentions and future role in the global conflict at that critical time. What is Zurich's main river? Limmat. The Limmat River flows through Zurich, Switzerland, originating from Lake Zurich. It's an important geographical feature of the city, flowing northwest until it joins the Aare River. What is the name of the Cambridge University college that was originally for women only? Girton. Girton College, founded in 1869, was the first residential college in England to educate women at university level. It played a pioneering role in advancing women's access to higher education, initially operating independently before becoming a full college of the University of Cambridge. Who was king of Egypt from 1936 to 52? Farouk. Farouk I was the 10th ruler from the Muhammad Ali dynasty and the penultimate king of Egypt and Sudan, reigning from 1936 to 1952. His reign saw significant political instability and a rise in nationalist sentiment, culminating in the 1952 Egyptian revolution that led to his abdication. De La Rue is a famous international maker of banknotes. De La Rue is a British company established in 1821, globally renowned as the world's largest commercial printer of banknotes. Beyond currency, they also produce security documents like passports, identity cards, and postage stamps, playing a critical role in global financial and security systems. A backhoe or rear back actor is normally found on construction sites. A backhoe, also known as a rear actor, is a piece of heavy equipment primarily used on construction sites. It consists of a digging bucket on the end of a two-part articulated arm, typically mounted on the back of a tractor or front loader, used for digging trenches, foundations, and other earth-moving tasks. Who are Malenkov, Bulganin, Khrushchev, and Kosygin, prominent figures in the USSR during the 1950s and 1960s? National leaders. These individuals were prominent leaders of the Soviet Union during the Cold War era. Georgy Malenkov, Nikolai Bulganin, Nikita Khrushchev, and Alexei Kosygin each held significant positions, including premier, contributing to Soviet domestic and foreign policy from the 1950s to the 1970s. From what material were large, lightweight bricks known as breeze blocks, or concrete masonry units, CMUs, traditionally made and named? Ash, cinders. Breeze blocks, also known as concrete masonry units, CMUs, are construction blocks traditionally made from a mixture of cement and industrial byproducts like ash or cinders. This composition makes them lightweight and provides good insulation properties, widely used in construction for their versatility and cost effectiveness. What is the legal process of validating a will called? Probate. Probate is the legal process of proving that a will is valid and distributing the deceased person's estate according to the will's instructions. It involves authenticating the will, appointing an executor, and overseeing the proper administration of assets and debts. What do tera, peta, exa, zeta, and yata represent? Metric prefixes. Tera, peta, exa, zeta, and yata are standard prefixes used in the metric system to denote large multiples of units. They represent powers of 10, specifically 10 to the power of 12, 10 to the power of 15, 10 to the power of 18, 10 to the power of 21, and 10 to the power of 24 respectively, and are commonly used in fields like computing and physics. What was a troubadour, who flourished in 11th-13th century France, originally known as? Singing poet. Troubadours were lyric poets and composers who flourished in southern France during the 11th to 13th centuries. They were known for writing and performing elaborate songs, often about chivalry and courtly love, playing a significant role in the development of medieval European literature and music. What is the portmanteau term, originating around 2015, that refers to the United Kingdom's departure from the European Union? Brexit. Brexit is a portmanteau of British and exit, coined in 2012 to 2015 to refer to the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union. The 2016 referendum on EU membership resulted in a vote to leave, leading to a complex multi-year process that culminated in the UK's departure in January 2020. The human hormone ghrelin, also known as lenomorphin, is referred to as the what hormone? Hunger. Ghrelin is a hormone primarily produced by the stomach that stimulates appetite, earning it the moniker hunger hormone. It plays a crucial role in regulating energy balance and signaling the brain when the body requires nourishment. Panama disease is known to destroy what crop? Bananas. Panama disease, caused by the fungus Fusarium oxysporum *F, sp. *cubens, is a devastating plant disease that primarily affects banana crops. It leads to widespread destruction of plantations and poses a significant threat to global banana production, especially the Cavendish variety. The UK billionaire who faced parliamentary questioning in 2016 regarding his governance of the collapsed BHS company is Sir Philip, what? Green. Sir Philip Green, a prominent UK retail magnate, came under intense scrutiny from Parliament in 2016 following the collapse of the BHS department store chain. The inquiry highlighted concerns about corporate governance, pension deficits, and financial practices during his ownership, sparking public debate on business ethics and accountability. Which newspaper remains largely boycotted in Liverpool, UK, due to its grossly false reporting of the 1989 Hillsborough disaster? The Sun. The newspaper, The Sun, has faced a widespread and enduring boycott in Liverpool since its inaccurate and victim-blaming coverage of the 1989 Hillsborough disaster, where 97 football fans died. This boycott highlights critical issues of media ethics, journalistic integrity, and the profound impact of misinformation on public trust and historical memory. The oak processionary, what, is an increasing human and animal health hazard in Europe? Caterpillar. The oak processionary caterpillar, Thaumtapia processionea is an invasive species in Europe whose urticating hairs contain a toxin that can cause allergic reactions, skin rashes, and respiratory problems in humans and animals. This pest poses a significant public health and environmental threat, damaging oak trees and necessitating extensive management strategies. James Grieve, Blenheim orange, Irish peach, and Ashmead's kernel are traditional varieties of apples. These names refer to specific cultivars of apples, highlighting the diversity within agricultural produce. Knowledge of such varieties can be relevant in questions concerning agriculture, botany, or regional specialities. A traditional Moroccan house with a central atrium courtyard, garden is called a riad. A riad is a traditional Moroccan house or palace, often with multiple stories, distinguished by its interior garden or courtyard. These architectural styles are common in the Medinas of Moroccan cities and serve as a private, serene space away from the bustling streets. Junk, trimaran, pontoon, and lazoo are types of boats. These terms refer to distinct types of watercraft, each with unique designs and historical or geographical origins. For example, a junk is a traditional Chinese sailing vessel, while a lazoo is a brightly painted traditional fishing boat from Malta. 12/300, expressed as a percentage is 4%. To convert a fraction to a percentage, divide the numerator by the denominator and then multiply the result by 100. In this case, 12 divided by 300 equals 0.04, and 0.04 times 100 equals 4%. This demonstrates a fundamental skill in quantitative aptitude. Sabot and sabaton, from French, savater and bot, are respectively a box from which casino cards are dealt, and knight's armor, equating to a shoe. The terms sabot and sabaton both derive from French words related to footwear, specifically wooden shoes. A sabot can refer to a wooden shoe or a card shoe in a casino, while a sabaton is the plate armor protecting the foot of a knight. The common etymological root links these seemingly disparate concepts to the word shoe. The traditional pudding of strawberries, meringue and whipped cream is called Eton mess. Eton mess is a classic English dessert consisting of a delightful mixture of strawberries, broken meringue pieces, and whipped cream. It is famously associated with Eton College and is typically served at the annual cricket match against Winchester College, embodying a part of British culinary tradition. Who discovered gravity and proposed the 3 laws of motion? Newton. Sir Isaac Newton was an English physicist and mathematician widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time. His work Principia Mathematica laid the foundations for classical mechanics through his laws of motion and universal gravitation, revolutionizing scientific understanding of the physical world. Clove hitch, sheep shank, figure 8, and bolana. Knots. These are all distinct types of knots, each serving specific purposes in various fields such as sailing, climbing, and general utility. Their names identify specific techniques for tying rope to create secure fastenings or loops, and knowledge of them is often tested in general knowledge or practical skills sections. The Palais d'Or is a major award by the French magazine Montagnards for mountaineering. The Palais d'Or, meaning Golden Ice Axe, is an annual award considered the most prestigious in mountaineering. It celebrates the year's most significant alpine ascents, recognizing achievements in high-altitude climbing that demonstrate innovation, commitment, and respect for the mountain environment. The UK average hourly wage for a FTSE company CEO, 2014-15, is about £1,200. This question highlights specific economic data, focusing on the remuneration of chief executive officers in major companies listed on the FTSE Stock Exchange. Such figures are relevant for understanding economic inequality, corporate governance, and executive compensation trends within a national economy. To enable accurate measuring of Moon-Earth distance, what did the NASA lunar landings of 1969 to 72 leave on the Moon? Mirror. The Apollo missions deployed retroreflectors, essentially specialized mirrors, on the Moon's surface. These allow scientists on Earth to bounce lasers off them to precisely measure the Earth-Moon distance, providing critical data for lunar science and tests of general relativity. What scientist did the Vatican officially pardon in 1992, after having declared him a heretic and forcing him to recant under threat of torture for asserting in 1632 that the Earth orbits the Sun? Galileo. Galileo Galilei was an Italian astronomer and physicist whose support for the heliocentric model of the solar system brought him into conflict with the Catholic Church. He was formally pardoned by the Vatican in 1992, 350 years after his death, acknowledging the error of his condemnation. A linen, stola, is the female equivalent of the Roman manswoolen. Toga. In ancient Rome, the toga was a distinctive woolen garment worn by male citizens, symbolizing their status and citizenship. The stola was a traditional dress worn by Roman women, often layered over a tunic, and was also an important indicator of their social standing. In Europe, which dangerous natural phenomenon exists only in Portugal, Norway, Iceland, Italy, and the Canary Islands? Volcanoes. Volcanoes are geological formations that allow molten rock, ash, and gases to escape from the Earth's interior. In Europe, active volcanic activity is primarily confined to specific regions due to tectonic plate boundaries and hot spots, such as the mid-Atlantic ridge in Iceland and the collision zones around Italy. The Battle of Jutland was the only, battle of the First World War? Naval. The Battle of Jutland, fought in 1916, was the largest naval battle and the only full-scale clash of battleships between the British Royal Navy's Grand Fleet and the Imperial German Navy's High Seas Fleet during the First World War. While tactically indecisive, it cemented British naval dominance for the remainder of the war. What significant achievement did Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay accomplish in May 1953? First ascent of Everest. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay became the first confirmed climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest on May 29, 1953. This historic achievement marked a significant milestone in human exploration and mountaineering, captivating the world. Baklava, a popular food in Turkish and Central West Asian cuisine, is a type of what? Pastry. Baklava is a rich, sweet pastry made of layers of phyllo dough filled with chopped nuts and sweetened with syrup or honey. It is a widely enjoyed dessert across the Middle East, Balkans, and Central Asia, showcasing distinct regional variations. Greaves, grants, chapmans, and the extinct quagga are all varieties of what animal? Zebra. Greaves, grants, and chapmans are distinct species or subspecies of zebra, primarily found in various regions of Africa. The quagga was a unique subspecies of plains zebra, notable for its limited stripe pattern, which became extinct in the late 19th century. Acetylsalicylic acid, ASA, first identified in willow bark by Hippocrates around 400 BC, is better known by what genericized trademark? Aspirin. Acetylsalicylic acid, ASA, is the chemical compound commonly known as aspirin, a widely used medication for pain relief, fever reduction, and anti-inflammatory effects. Its medicinal properties, originating from willow bark, were recognized by ancient civilizations and later synthesized for modern pharmaceutical use. In the early 2000s, Leicester became the first UK city where the majority of the population was what? Ethnically diverse. Leicester became the first UK city in the early 2000s where the majority of its population identified with an ethnic group other than white British. This significant demographic shift highlights the increasing multiculturalism and diversity of urban centres in the United Kingdom. Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire is famous for its European Protected Designation of Origin, named what? Pork pie. Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire is renowned for its traditional pork pies, which hold a European Protected Geographical Indication (PGI) status. This designation ensures that only pies produced in the specified area, adhering to traditional methods, can bear the name, preserving their unique heritage and quality. Which English king, whose remains were controversially found in a Leicester car park in 2012, was reburied in Leicester Cathedral in 2015? Richard III. Richard III, the last Plantagenet king of England, was killed at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485. His skeleton was discovered beneath a Leicester car park in 2012, confirming his identity through DNA and historical records, leading to his reburial in Leicester Cathedral in 2015. Leicester is the location of the UK's foremost visitor centre devoted to what scientific field? Space and astronomy. Leicester is home to the National Space Centre, a prominent visitor attraction and educational facility in the UK focused on space science and astronomy. It serves as a key institution for public engagement with STEM subjects and the exploration of the cosmos. Name the English Queen of 9 Days in 1553, who was born and raised at Bradgate House in Newtown Linford, Leicestershire. Lady Jane Grey. Lady Jane Grey was a claimant to the English throne and reigned for a mere 9 days in July 1553 following the death of Edward VI. Her brief period as monarch ended with her overthrow by Mary I, and she was subsequently executed for treason, making her a tragic figure in Tudor history. In 1485, what significant event involving the last English monarch to be killed in battle occurred at Bosworth Field in Leicestershire? Killed in battle. The Battle of Bosworth Field, fought in 1485 in Leicestershire, was the decisive engagement of the Wars of the Roses. It resulted in the death of King Richard III, making him the last English monarch to die in battle, and marked the end of the Plantagenet dynasty and the beginning of the Tudor era with Henry VII. What Leicestershire village is known for its historic fox hunt and lent its name to a popular meat substitute brand? Corn. Corn is a village in Leicestershire, England. The popular meat substitute brand, Corn, adopted its name from this village, highlighting a connection between local geography and a significant innovation in sustainable food technology. Which globally popular snack brand, known for its potato crisps, was founded in Leicester and operates one of the world's largest production plants of its kind there? Walker's. Walker's Crisps, a prominent brand owned by PepsiCo, was founded in Leicester, England, in 1948. Its main factory in Beaumont Leys, Leicester, is recognized as the largest crisp production plant in the world, underscoring its significant economic and industrial footprint. How many meters are equivalent to approximately 0.6214 miles? 1000 meters. The conversion factor between miles and kilometers is approximately 1 mile equals 1.60934 kilometers, or 1 kilometer equals 0.62137 miles. Therefore, 0.6214 miles is approximately 1 kilometer, which is equal to 1000 meters, a fundamental unit conversion in science and engineering. Vaseline is a genericized brand name for which type of jelly? Petroleum jelly. Vaseline is a well-known brand of petroleum jelly, a semi-solid mixture of hydrocarbons. Discovered by Robert Chesbrough in 1859, Petroleum jelly is widely used for its moisturizing and protective properties in skincare, forming a barrier to prevent moisture loss. Which behavioral term was inspired by the French writer and philosopher Donatien Alphonse François, Marquis de Sade, 1740–1814? Sadism. Marquis de Sade was an 18th-century French aristocrat and writer whose philosophical works and notorious lifestyle, involving extreme sexual and violent acts, led to his name inspiring the term sadism. Sadism describes the enjoyment derived from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. Name the ancient Greek slave and storyteller to whom many fables are attributed in an eponymous collection. Aesop. Aesop was an ancient Greek fabulist or storyteller known for Aesop's Fables, a collection of short moral stories, often featuring anthropomorphic animals. Though his historical existence is debated, these fables have profoundly influenced Western literature and moral education for centuries. What is the equivalent weight of the old unit, dram, or dram, in grams? 1.772 grams. The dram, or dram, is a historical unit of mass used in various measurement systems, including the apothecaries and avoirdupois systems. In the avoirdupois system, 1 dram is approximately equivalent to 1.772 grams, historically used for measuring small quantities, particularly in pharmacy. Monophthongs, diphthongs, and triphthongs are types of what linguistic element? Vowel sounds. Monophthongs, diphthongs, and triphthongs are classifications of vowel sounds in phonetics, distinguished by the movement of the tongue during articulation. A monophthong is a pure vowel with a static tongue position, while a diphthong involves a glide between two vowel positions, and a triphthong involves a glide through three distinct positions within a single syllable. From the Greek god of love, what term refers to a part of the human body that is especially responsive to touch or stimulation? Erogenous. The term, erogenous, is derived from Eros, the Greek god of love and desire. An erogenous zone is an area of the human body with heightened sensitivity that, when stimulated, can lead to sexual arousal or pleasure. These zones are crucial to human sexuality. What Chinese Pidgin English word for an incense stick is derived from Latin, deus, God, and Javanese, dejos? Jos. The word, Jos, is derived from the Portuguese, Deus, God, or Latin, Deus, which became, dejos, in Javanese. It was adopted into Chinese Pidgin English to refer to idols or deities, and subsequently to the incense sticks used in their worship, known as joss sticks. Machiavellianism, named after Renaissance philosopher Niccolò Machiavelli, 1469–1527, refers to what political characteristic? Cunning. Machiavellian, or Machiavellianism, refers to political cunning, duplicity, or a devious approach, especially in politics. It is derived from the writings of Niccolò Machiavelli, particularly The Prince, which advised rulers on acquiring and maintaining power, often through pragmatic and ethically questionable means. Phlebotomy is the medical term for which procedure? Vein blood injection, withdrawal. Phlebotomy is the medical procedure of making an incision in a vein with a needle, primarily to draw blood for diagnostic testing or therapeutic purposes such as blood donation. It is performed by trained professionals known as phlebotomists. What profession historically performed bloodletting? Barbers. Historically, bloodletting was a common medical practice believed to cure or prevent illness. Barbers often performed this procedure, along with other minor surgical tasks, which is why their traditional pole often features red and white stripes symbolizing blood and bandages. In Greek mythology, nymphs are spirits of nature imagined as what? Beautiful young women. In Greek mythology, nymphs are minor female deities associated with specific natural features like mountains, oreads, trees, dryads, or rivers, naiads. They are typically depicted as beautiful, youthful maidens who personify the life and beauty of nature. North America's Boeing Apache is a type of what? Military helicopter. The Boeing AH-64 Apache is a twin-turboshaft attack helicopter with a tandem cockpit for a two-person crew. Developed in the United States, it is a primary attack helicopter for numerous countries worldwide, known for its combat effectiveness. In 2012, by public vote, Shinzo Abe became Japan's new national what? Prime Minister. Shinzo Abe became the Prime Minister of Japan in December 2012, marking his second term in the office after a previous tenure from 2006-2007. He went on to become Japan's longest-serving Prime Minister before resigning in 2020. In 2016, President Justin Trudeau welcomed the introduction of legal euthanasia to which nation? Canada. Canada legalized medical assistance in dying, MAID, also known as euthanasia, in June 2016 under the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. This landmark legislation allows eligible adults to request medical assistance to end their lives under strict conditions. In 2016, which prominent figure replaced Elizabeth Fry on the £5 note? Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, a pivotal British Prime Minister during World War II, was featured on the Bank of England's polymer £5 note starting in 2016. He replaced Elizabeth Fry, a social reformer known for her work with prisoners and the mentally ill, highlighting the recognition of significant historical personalities on national currency. A pollywog or polygull in England is more generally known as a tadpole. A pollywog or polygull are regional or older terms for a tadpole, which is the larval stage of an amphibian, typically a frog or toad. Tadpoles are aquatic, possess gills and a tail, and undergo metamorphosis to develop into their adult form. According to a scientific study in 2016, what substance was found to alleviate serious depression? Magic mushrooms, psilocybin. A scientific study in 2016, among others, explored the potential of psilocybin, the psychoactive compound found in magic mushrooms, for alleviating severe depression. Research into psychedelic-assisted therapy for mental health conditions is an emerging field, focusing on its effects on brain activity and mood regulation. The Tahitian, Tongan, and Samoan word and tradition, tatau, became what in English? Tattoo. The English word, tattoo, originates from the Polynesian word, tattoo, describing the ancient tradition of marking the skin with permanent designs. This cultural practice, observed by European explorers like Captain Cook, was subsequently adopted into Western vocabulary, signifying indelible body art. Cilantro or Chinese parsley is better known as coriander. Cilantro is the common name in North America for the fresh leaves of the coriander plant, Coriandrum sativum, also known as Chinese parsley. Coriander refers to both the fresh leaves and the dried seeds, which are widely used as a herb and spice in various cuisines globally. The Latin, confectum, and the plural of the Italian, confetto, small sweet, are the etymological origins of what celebratory material? Confetti. The word, confetti, originates from the Latin, confectum, something prepared, and the plural of the Italian, confetto, meaning a small sweet or sugared almond. Traditionally, these sweets were thrown during celebrations in Italy, a practice that evolved into throwing small pieces of paper, now known as confetti, at festive events. Haiku, traditionally comprising 17 morai, and a juxtaposition, is a short form of Japanese poetry. Haiku is a traditional form of Japanese poetry, characterized by its brevity and a typical 5-7-5-syllable, or more accurately, morai, structure. It often features a kireji, cutting word, and a kigo, seasonal reference, aiming to capture a moment in nature or an emotional insight through juxtaposition. Reflexology therapy primarily involves touching a patient's feet. Reflexology is an alternative medicine practice involving the application of pressure to specific points on the feet, hands, or ears. Proponents believe these points correspond to different organs and systems of the body, and stimulating them can promote healing and relaxation. The names Alex, Bonnie, Colin, Danielle, Earl, and Fiona were used for which type of natural phenomenon in 2016? Atlantic hurricanes. These names are from the rotating list used by the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, to identify tropical cyclones in the North Atlantic Basin. This naming system helps in clear communication and avoids confusion when multiple storms are active simultaneously. What is the meaning of the Greek word, petro, or petros, as found in terms like petroleum and petrochemicals? Rock. The Greek root, petro, or petros, translates to rock or stone. This etymology is evident in words like petroleum, literally, rock oil, and petrology, the study of rocks, highlighting their connection to geological formations. Which small English Midlands county is home to Rutland Water, the nation's largest reservoir by area, named after the county itself? Rutland. Rutland Water, located in the county of Rutland, England, is the largest reservoir by surface area in the UK. This significant artificial lake serves as a major water supply for the East Midlands and is also a renowned nature reserve and recreational area. What is a pantechnicon, a word derived from Greek roots meaning all and piece of art? Furniture removal van. A pantechnicon is a large furniture removal van, originally referring to a bazaar or exhibition of all kinds of art and workmanship in London. The term then became associated with the building's specific service of storing and transporting furniture, eventually referring to the vehicle itself. What is the generally accepted age of the universe? 13.8 billion years. The age of the universe is estimated to be approximately 13.8 billion years. This estimation is primarily based on observations of the cosmic microwave background radiation and the expansion rate of the universe, as described by the lambda-CDM concordance model of cosmology. What is the name of the famous relationships and mutual awareness model, often used in leadership and communication, which is abbreviated from the first names of its inventors? Johari window. The Johari window is a psychological tool developed by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham in 1955. It helps individuals understand their relationship with themselves and others by categorizing personal information into 4 quadrants: open, blind, hidden, and unknown. It is widely used in self-help groups, corporate settings, and communication training. The female equivalent of a sultan is a sultana. A sultan is a powerful Muslim sovereign or monarch, historically used in various Islamic states. The term sultana serves as the feminine form, designating either a female monarch or the principal consort of a sultan, reflecting the hierarchical structures of historical Islamic empire. John Adair, Hersey and Blanchard, Tannenbaum and Schmidt, and Kurt Lewin are renowned theorists in which field? Leadership. These individuals are prominent figures in the study of leadership, having developed influential models and theories. Their work explores various aspects of leadership styles, situational leadership, and the dynamics of power and influence within organizations, contributing significantly to organizational behavior and management studies. The renowned quantum mechanics thought experiment, illustrating that a particle can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed, is known as Schrödinger's cat. Schrödinger's cat is a thought experiment proposed by Erwin Schrödinger in 1935 to illustrate the paradox of quantum superposition. It posits a hypothetical cat in a sealed box whose fate, alive or dead, is linked to a random quantum event, suggesting that until the box is opened and the system observed, the cat is simultaneously both alive and dead. Mother Teresa, Florence Nightingale, Gandhi, Mandela, Dalai Lama, Buddha, Martin Luther King, Aung San Suu Kyi, and Jesus Christ are examples of a highly sophisticated modern leadership type, defined in Robert Greenleaf's 1977 book, Servant Leadership. Servant. Robert Greenleaf introduced the concept of servant leadership in his 1977 essay, emphasizing a leader's role in serving the needs of others and the organization. This philosophy posits that true leadership emerges from a desire to serve first, aligning with the compassionate and empowering approaches of figures like Gandhi and Mother Teresa. What is the medical condition icterus commonly called? Jaundice. Icterus is the medical term for jaundice, a condition characterized by yellowing of the skin, whites of the eyes, sclera, and mucous membranes. It is caused by an excess of bilirubin, a yellow-orange bile pigment, in the blood, often indicating issues with the liver, gallbladder, or red blood cell breakdown. Who discovered and opened Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922? Howard Carter. Howard Carter, a British archaeologist, famously discovered the intact tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in Egypt's Valley of the Kings in November 1922. This discovery was one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century, providing unprecedented insights into ancient Egyptian royalty and funerary practices. Who invented the jet engine? Frank Whittle. Sir Frank Whittle, a British aviation engineer and RAF officer, is credited with inventing the turbojet engine. He patented his design in 1930, and his pioneering work led to the development of the first operational jet aircraft, revolutionizing aviation technology. In which London building was the funeral of Diana, Princess of Wales, held in 1997? Westminster Abbey. The funeral of Diana, Princess of Wales, was held at Westminster Abbey in London on September 6, 1997. This monumental event was watched by an estimated 2.5 billion people worldwide, marking a significant moment in British and global history. Which Argentine leader was deposed in 1982? General Galtieri. General Leopoldo Galtieri was the de facto president of Argentina who was deposed in June 1982 following Argentina's defeat in the Falklands War against the United Kingdom. His brief and ill-fated leadership marked a critical period for Argentina's military junta and its transition towards democracy. Marron glace is what, preserved and coated in sugar? Chestnut. Marron glace is a traditional confection made from candied chestnuts that are then glazed with a sugar syrup. Originating in southern France and northern Italy, this delicacy is a laborious and costly process, often enjoyed during festive seasons. In which year was the Battle of Waterloo? 1815. The Battle of Waterloo took place on June 18, 1815, near Waterloo in present-day Belgium. This decisive battle marked the final defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte, leading to his second abdication and ending his reign as Emperor of France. What is the name given to the uncut locks of hair worn on the sides of the head by Orthodox male Jews? Payas. Payas, also known as payos or payo, are side locks or side curls worn by some Orthodox Jewish men and boys, in accordance with interpretations of biblical commandments. This practice is a significant cultural and religious marker within Orthodox Judaism. In Greek mythology, what is the name of the river whose water, when drunk, caused complete forgetfulness and made the souls of the dead forget their earthly lives? Lethe. In Greek mythology, Lethe is one of the 5 rivers of the underworld, often associated with Hades. Drinking from its waters was believed to induce complete oblivion, causing the souls of the deceased to forget their mortal lives before reincarnation. What type of natural substance is caoutchouc, pronounced kachuk? Rubber. Caoutchouc is the technical term for natural rubber, derived from the latex of rubber trees, Hevea brasiliensis. It is an elastomer, known for its elasticity, waterproofing, and electrical insulation properties, and is a vital raw material in various industries. In which US state was the first atomic bomb explosion conducted? New Mexico. The first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, was detonated on July 16, 1945, at the White Sands Proving Ground in New Mexico, United States. This historic event marked a pivotal moment in the development of nuclear weapons and ushered in the atomic age. Whose last work, entitled The Transfiguration, was unfinished at the time of his death in 1520? Raphael. The Transfiguration is the last painting by the Italian High Renaissance master Raphael, commissioned by Cardinal Giulio de' Medici. The work remained unfinished at his death in 1520, with parts completed by his assistants, and is considered a masterpiece of Renaissance art.